Well, to get that dual income, here's what you have to do. You have to date. You have to find that someone.
Loving this
You have to
segue.
talk money, and you have to make sure you're on the same page. And when you're having those conversations early on in a first date, what are some red flags that you need to run in the other direction? There are 3 first date red flags that you should know about. We are here to help.
Okay, so it was keep in mind, it was a sex therapist who sort of decided these after years of working with clients, doing her research, and so on. She says, first of all, as a sex therapist, if people start talking about sex on a first date, total red flag. She says sexual gratification, although an important function of life, should be saved for later, more intimate conversations.
This is always a red flag that they're probably still mired in the emotional entrapment of the last relationship, talking about their ex. If they're discussing their ex, Catlin says it's a huge red flag. The first date should be about making each other feel comfortable so you can discuss yourself and your goals. And if you start rambling, if this potential mate starts rambling about the ex and past relationships, it's time to probably run the other direction.
So it's twofold. Yes, they could be not over them, or they could just be not a very exciting person that doesn't have a lot going on, doesn't have a lot to say. So it's like, even if they're over them, they're still talking about their ex because perhaps they don't have a hobby or an interest or a book they read or a movie they watched or an activity they went to talk about, a restaurant. I mean, literally anything besides your ex.
Well, and that doesn't mean that you won't at some point, because every relationship you get in involves you discussing with your new partner, like what your past dating and relationship history was like. And sometimes you find that you had common experiences.
And I think, sure, yes. And so you can relate on that level and say, okay, we both experienced this in a negative way. We can experience each other positively. Obviously, if there's children involved, you're going to have to talk about your ex at some point, but it's just not like, this is not hot. Do not bring that up on a date.
What about talking about your future together? I mean, if you're just getting to know somebody and they say things like, well, if this were to work out, I really would hope we'd be able to travel here, do this, do that, and you're sitting there on a first date going, okay, this person's already planning this out, contingent on this working out. That is called love bombing, and love bombing is also a red flag for a narcissist. A narcissist will love bomb you, and some of them are more artful at it than others. Some people will love bomb you by going to the people around you and your friends and expressing to them how much they like you and are interested in you, so that the friends will sort of plant a seed and say, hey, did you like so-and-so? You know, I think they really like you. I mean, these sorts of things will happen. But the full-on love bomber who does it on the first date isn't very artful, and they're basically showing you who they are.
What you're referencing with the love bombing is a major educational trend right now. I've been starting to see sort of these signs of narcissism being put out there, and I think that when people think of narcissism, they think, oh, just self-centered. So it catches you off guard to think, oh, the person love bombing me could be doing it because they're a narcissist.
And they're getting something out of it.
Right, but they're getting the satisfaction of like, oh, wow, look how great I am, and I'm going to sort of encapsulate this person in my sphere.
Also be careful, because a component of the love bombing is what they call mirroring, where all of a sudden everything you're interested in, they're interested in. Now there has to be, and this is not in the nose, this is just from my own.
This is from psychologist Corning.
Listen, this is from my therapist, who shall remain nameless, but he, has explained to me that this idea of mirroring someone, if they're so quick to say, oh, I love that too. Oh, I've always wanted to go there too. Too much of that could be a red flag. I'm not saying just that alone. It's a combination of things, but not everyone that you're going to be compatible with is going to enjoy and love everything that you love. So if they start mirroring you, that's a red sign. It's a bad sign and a red flag. It's a red sign.
Not a red sign. It's a stop sign.
It's a stop sign and a red flag. Yes, same color.
This is our Morning After Express question of the day. Wow, the conversation's already going. I just checked on this online on Facebook, and you guys are talking about it. And I mean, I don't know, tag the person who put out some red flags. So we're asking, what are the biggest red flags on a first date? What makes you sort of take a beat and say, I'm not sure if this is working for me? Let us know, and we'll share some of those later on in the show.